there are technologies, carbon removal technologies, and actually the Make Our Planet Great Again program, some of the people who are hired are very into the high-tech stuff. And so I've been hearing about it, but it's literally laboratory scale. I mean, it is literally, you know,
Not real
still
world.
it's not real world yet. And I suspect it'll be 20 or 30 years before it's real world. So right now, the best way for removing carbon from the atmosphere is through plants. It is through our natural systems. And that's one emphasis of our report is natural systems, healthy ecosystems actually are very good at removing and storing carbon. But right now, very few of them are protected, and a lot of them are degraded and not doing that function very well anymore. So one of the easiest, cheapest, no-brainer ways of removing carbon is actually to protect and restore our natural ecosystems. And interestingly, so Working Group 3 is actually going to be coming out with its report in just a month, and they're all about mitigation. You know, so you'll get much more about this in a month. But interestingly, we've been working with them in Working Group 2, and a lot of the biologists are in Working Group 2, and we've had a very good, productive exchange about these nature-based mitigation programs and when they can go very, very wrong. So planting trees can be the right thing to do, but it is absolutely not the best thing to do everywhere. If you have a natural grassland system or a natural treeless peatland bog, you do not want to go planting trees there. And I think some of our Working Group 3 colleagues who are not biologists were quite surprised at that. And so we put together, overwhelmingly what's called afforestation. So not reforestation is putting a forest back where it was. That's fine. And there are good ways and bad ways of doing that. But afforestation, planting trees in areas that are naturally treeless, these projects have occurred. And what was astonishing is they have been overwhelmingly failures. Huge negative impacts. You lose the native biodiversity first. Second, you're creating a system that is not naturally sustainable. It's not stable, especially it's not resilient to climate change. And so many of these projects have ended up where the trees all die after a few years. You get massive emissions of greenhouse gases. So you're actually doing the opposite of what you intended. And so they're just bad ideas. So as well as saying, yes, nature can be a solution, we emphasize that you've got to do it in the right way for the area that you're working in. And Indigenous knowledge becomes very important. Local knowledge, Indigenous knowledge becomes very important. What is the historic state of this system that we're dealing with? How much has it been degraded? What are the changes being seen? And what can we do to get it back to health so it can be functioning the way we would like it to function to help society meet its global warming goals?
So when is a tree not a good thing? Because that's the big rage, is everybody's selling, plant a tree. Carol, your thoughts quickly on COP26, whether or not you were there, but curious if you were. And then also this, planting the tree being the best solution when, of course, like you just said, Camille, very eloquently, that's not always the case. And is there any monitor, like global monitor of like, we can't plant trees here, we can do it there? Or is it just like the wild, wild west?